class. Today I'm going to teach you how to do a mosaic. You have already completed a design for your mosaic using squares and perhaps some triangles, which I will show you how to cut in a minute. To start your mosaic, you are going to receive your board. In this case, it's 8 by 8 inches. You're going to get some tiles. You might decide you want to sort these by color, or if not, you can just keep the kit nearby you. And you're also going to get some glue, this well-bond glue, to attach. So what you're going to do is you're going to read this and translate it to the board. So in this case, I've started with my bottom row, and I've looked at each color and I've placed it down to match my bottom row. Okay, now you might find that there's a little bit of difference. Maybe you end up missing a square at the end. That's because we're going to leave a small amount of space in between the tiles so the grout can go into the grooves. And the grout is going to make it permanent. It turns into kind of a cement, and it's going to be the very, very, very last thing that we do. So don't worry about grout right now, but you're leaving a small amount of space. So when you start applying your tiles, your well-bond glue, this is very strong glue, you open it by just pulling this up, okay? And when you're done, you want to make sure you close it and wipe up all the extra stuff, because it's going to get clogged and you're going to be very frustrated, and it's going to be a lot harder to use if it gets clogged, okay? So you open it by pulling, and to put down a tile, you just put a tiny dot on your board, okay? And I'm looking at my design. I put one shade of green. I'm just going to put a different shade of green, maybe a little bit lighter green. That looks the same. Maybe I'll try a different one. So whenever you have a big area that is the same color, like all this is green, all this is green, all this is green, it's a lot more interesting if you can add some variety of different types of greens with it, for example, or if maybe this was a sky or water and it's all blue, it wouldn't necessarily have to be the same blue. You can mix it with different blues next to it, and it could end up being a lot more interesting that way. So, now the space, how do I know how much space to leave? Okay, you want to leave a little bit less space than the width of this tile. Okay, so I've got a tile, I turn it a little bit less than that tile. If I can fit the whole tile in there, there might be too much space, okay? If you've got big gaps, it's going to make it look sloppy when you're done, okay? So, you can figure out what works best for you. You can work bottom to top, or top to bottom, or left to right, okay? Or you could fill in, like if you have something big in the center like me, you could try to build up your cat or whatever object you're doing and then fill in the background around it, okay? So you can do what makes the most sense for you, okay? Now with me, I'm having mine kind of like a grid, but they don't necessarily have to be lined up perfect like this. If you wanted to do one like kind of in the middle, can y'all see that? Like not quite lined up, kind of catty corner, that's okay. So one thing that you might want to do is cut your tiles. Maybe that's really important for your design. Around my face, I wanted to have more of that cat eye shape, so I end up cutting, I'm going to cut some of my tiles, okay? So it's not hard to do, but you want to make sure you're safe when you do it. You want to make sure you're wearing some safety goggles, and you also want to make sure you're wearing some kind of safety glove, because The glass can cut you, it could go in your eyes. When you cut it, it can kind of go everywhere. So it's important to be safe. I would also kind of go in a corner by yourself if the people around you aren't wearing safety glasses too, because it could go in their eyes. So be really careful. So let's say I want to cut a tile. Okay, I'm going to take mine off so you can see a little bit better. Let's say I want to cut this. What you're going to do, these are your glass cutters, and make sure you keep your fingers away from them because they could really, really, really hurt you. Okay, these are very, very sharp. So what you're going to do, okay, I'm going to try to get close. Okay, is you're going to get your glass cutters and you're going to put the piece of glass inside of the glass cutters, but only the corner. So you're not putting the whole thing in and chomping it down like a pair of scissors. You're just going to cut, you're going to just get the side, and that cut that starts is going to make the rest of it crack. Okay, so then you're going to just lower it down, and then you just press, and you see how fast that happened. So that's how I made my my triangles. So maybe you end up making a row and you have an awkward amount of space at the end, and you don't have enough room for a whole square tile, but maybe you could fit half the tile so you don't have all that empty space. You can do the same thing. So again, I'm watching my fingers, so I should be wearing gloves. Okay, make sure you do. And then just a little bit, okay? It's not all the way in, okay? And then you, I'm just holding it at a different angle. So instead of chomping down the corner, I'm going to just chomp down on the sides. And then, oh, I made 2 little rectangles. You could go really small with these. You could even cut these again if you're really, really like wanting to get super detailed. Okay, you can see how small those get. I think that's about everything. If y'all have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.